Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here on location today at a private graduation party, but we are covering it for a very interesting reason. We are here to find out from these American born Indian kids, for parents who were born and brought up in India, but the kids are being brought up here in America, to find out whether they are living their dreams or are they living their parents' dreams. So we're going to try to get some people, some families in front of the camera and try to dig into their minds to find out the reality and how hard is it for the kids who grow up here. So here we have one of the guests. Her name is Dhara and she's also visiting here to congratulate her friend. But she herself is in college and let's find out where she goes and is she living her dream or her parents' dream. So welcome to Foundations TV, Dhara.
Thank you.
Tell us what you're doing these days.
Well, so I'm attending Bentley University. I'm going to be a junior this fall. For the summer, I'm just helping my parents out with their businesses. So just chilling other than that.
So what are you doing in college? What are you majoring in?
Finance.
Is that what you wanted to do or is that what your parents want you to do?
That's what I wanted to do.
And what did your parents want you to do?
Something, I don't know. They just wanted me to do whatever it made me happy. And business made me happy. So that's what I chose.
That's very sweet, very sweet. So it was an easy journey for you?
Yeah, it was easy. I always knew what I wanted to do. So there was no question there.
How was the choice of college for you? How did you figure that out? Which one you want to be in?
I first didn't know. That's why I went to Simmons my freshman year. And then I transferred to Bentley because I knew I wanted to do business for sure. So that was that.
Do you like it there?
Yeah, I love it. I like it a lot. It's different.
Do you have a message for all the high schoolers who are graduating this year and moving on to their colleges, including Rishi, of course?
Do what you want to do because whatever makes you happy will make you the most successful in life.
Wonderful. Thank you. Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here at a private party hosted by Raj and Raju Gupta for their son's graduation. And we have their guests that we are hijacking for a few minutes to ask some wonderful questions. And we have a great family here, Arun Chaudhary ji, Surekha Chaudhary ji, and their lovely daughter, Abha. And their son, of course, Vedant, who is not here today, but Abha is going to represent that. And she's going to answer some questions for us, right, Abha? So welcome to Foundations TV.
Thank you.
So tell us where your brother's, which college does he go to?
He's going to Champlain College.
And what is he doing there?
He's doing game programming, like he's making video games.
Is that during the summer or is that what he's majoring in as he's growing up?
That's what he's majoring in, as so far, what I know.
That is extremely exciting. Does that excite you as a little kid?
Yeah.
Do you know what you want to be?
I'm choosing between a few things, but like I haven't decided yet.
So are your parents directing you in a certain direction, in a certain way? Is it what they want you to be when you grow up?
Well, mostly they're just supporting me in what I want to do, but like they have their own opinions. Like my mom thinks I should be a doctor. My dad thinks, well, he thinks I should be a doctor, but a specific doctor, like the medicine. So mostly just doctor, but you know, they don't mind what I do. They're not too mad.
How do you feel about becoming a doctor, though?
I mean, I think it's a good profession because you're helping people when they're in need and they're sick. And it does interest me, but I'd rather do something else.
Okay, that's good to know. Now let's switch gears a little bit and ask about your brother. And I'm actually going to ask the parents now. This is a very unique degree that he is moving towards. It's a newer, trendy, situation. So especially parents who were not born and brought up here may have, I don't know about you, but they may have a little hesitation in kids going in a certain direction. So did you have, Arunji, did you have any hesitation at all in him choosing the direction that he has chosen today?
To be honest, I just want to correct what Abha said. I am not the person to force on the children what they want to do. I run the public speaking club. I say to the children that, follow your dream. And I said to Vedant, of course we knew that he likes the game programming. And I said to him, just follow your dream, whatever he wants to do. And I'm happy that he wants to be a game programmer. He already developed, 3 games, and he's on his way to follow his dream, and I hope he makes something big. And on Abha's side, she said, she wants to be a doctor, but I said, do something in Ayurveda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So, Rekha how do you feel about your children choosing their directions?
Once I saw the college, I'm proud of him, but Vedant chose it. In the beginning, it was hard for to understand game programming. I used to think you are playing a game and thinking to make a career in that one. So life is you need to be serious. Game is not a life. But once I saw, and he's more in artistic, like animation, app development. So he's like what he wants to do. That's what he told me. That's the field he can do it. And once I saw college, I'm happy what he chose. So thank
College,
you.
it's a beautiful campus, and we came from the Canada, and we stopped by. It was really great.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for answering these questions for us today, and have a good time.
Thank you.
So here we have with us Sridhar, who is in college already, and let's see where he is. So which college do you go to?
I go to Carnegie Mellon University.
And what are you majoring in?
Chemical engineering and biomedical engineering.
Now, are you double majoring?
Yeah, it's a double major.
Wow. And is that something that your parents are okay with?
They weren't okay with it at first because they thought it'd be a really big course load. They didn't think I'd be able to handle it, but I was interested in the combination of both together, so I kind of pushed it and just went for it.
How hard was that to push your parents in a certain direction?
It wasn't too hard. They were mainly just they were approaching it from the perspective of advising me against it, but they weren't like adamant or anything like that.
Now, a general question that we're asking everybody is, are the kids living their dream or are they living their parents' dreams? So are you living your dream or are you living your parents' dream?
I think I'm living my own dream. My parents, they want me to go to medicine, but I also do want to go to medicine, which is why I'm majoring in biomedical engineering. But they're not, I think it just so happened in this case, even though it's stereotypical for Indian parents to want their kids to go to medicine, I also just happened to be interested in the same thing. So the coincidence, my brothers, they're not interested in medicine, and my parents realize that and they're not pushing it on them. So they're following a different dream.
So you seem to have an ideal family where people can choose what they want to do and move ahead with it. But I heard you say that the stereotypical form of Indian parents is that they would want their kids going in a certain direction. So do you see that often?
I've seen it in a few Indian people. It varies, like, in terms of how extreme it is. Like, I know one girl whose parents wanted her to be in computer science, and they would not budge, and they basically forced her into a computer science program, and now she's not doing well because she's not interested at all. But on the other hand, some Indian parents will just kind of push a direction, but they won't, like, force it, per se.
Right. So I kind of sense that, even if the parents try to push them in a certain direction, eventually the children do find their own dreams and they move towards that. Is that right?
Yeah, I think eventually, like, that girl, like, after a while, she's probably going to drop out of the computer science path because clearly it's not for her, and she knows that, and her parents will have to realize that at some point.
That is true. So do you have any, since it's at such a great college, do you have any advice for the kids who are growing up here, middle school, high school, what should they do to get into a college like yours?
To get into college like mine, well, I mean, there's the basic advice, like keep your grades up and whatnot, but then also just try to pursue interests like clubs or other sorts of pursuits. I think because nowadays colleges like want to make sure that you're actually you have a life outside of your grades, and also colleges can tell if you're doing things for the sake of getting into college or if you're actually interested in what you're doing. So try not to have a checklist. You need a general checklist, kind of, but don't live by a checklist.
So put your heart into it, and that's how you'll get results. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today.
No problem.
All right.
Thanks.
So here we have Nick, who is a friend of Rishi, and he's attending the graduation party of Rishi. So first of all, Nick, what message do you have for Rishi?
Do your best, man. I've been a friend with him for a couple years now. He's going to UMass, and I'm sure you have a great time, and I'm sure he'll do well in life. Probably better than me, but, who knows.
Well, speaking of you, what are you doing?
I'm going to Fordham University. It's in New York City. There actually is two campuses, one in Manhattan. That is one I'm going to. I major in communications, and I hope to move on to some media form, maybe video editing, possibly reporting itself in the future. So, yeah.
So is that something that you've always wanted to do? Was it a recent dream?
Really developed beginning of high school, I'd say. I mean, I volunteered for TV, like the community TV, and yeah, it's really started to grow more and more.
Okay, and how are your parents? How do your parents feel about that?
Oh, they feel great. Believe me. At least I hope they do.
Have you talked about it candidly? Is that what you want them to? I mean, is that what they want you to do?
Yes, they wanted me to go to Fordham. Yes, they did, and they wanted me to major in that, even though it is a tough business. But you gotta work hard, man. That's what you do.
So, just growing up, did you feel any other challenges? We're focusing on, the generation gaps and the way different generations think. So, was there a certain area where you felt that with your parents while you were growing up, that there was a certain generation gap and you had felt a challenge and then you kind of made your way through?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
That seems to be like an ideal situation.
Yeah, of course. Like everyone has that. I mean, they're the baby boomers. They grew up in a time where I feel as if, they didn't have the technology we have nowadays. It's like, I remember when I was a kid, like the first saw an iPad, I was amazed, and now I was like, wow, these things are normal. Yeah, I feel that the generational gap is big, but I think they're adapting more and more. Mom a little more than my dad, but they're still getting it more and more, and yeah, I think the gap is closing maybe a bit.
Excellent. And do you feel that generation gap is, since you interact with a lot of Indian families, Indian kids, do you feel that it's wider within the community over there, since the parents were born and brought up in a different country altogether?
Well, I feel as if, I grew up with a lot of Indian kids when I was, living in Sharon, and yeah, I can't really speak for them totally, but maybe that could be the case. I think, India is like a very interesting country. It's like parts of it like incredibly booming, others maybe not, others are developing. It's really an interesting thing, and I think, yeah, the gap is there, but you know what, it can always change. That's the point. It's definitely a country that has a lot of resources, and I feel, yeah, that's definitely the difference there, yeah.
So here we have Iman, who is also a first generation actually, Indian kid, brought up here in the United States of America. His parents were born and brought up in India, and we are here to find out how has the journey been for him all through. So Iman, are you headed towards college this year?
Yes, I am. I'm going to UMass Lowell.
Wonderful. And do you know what you're going to become when you grow up? The typical question.
I don't know like exactly what I want to be, but I think I want to be something in the technical area, doing something with engineering and computers. That's what I've always been interested in.
That's what you've always been interested in. What about your parents?
So my mom's actually a software engineer, so that's where I get inspired from. My dad's also been engineering college, so both of them have like backgrounds that inspire me to do what I want to do when I get older.
Excellent. So do you think it was an easy journey for you growing up with parents who were not born and brought up in this country?
I definitely would say there was some ups and downs, but they were very easygoing and they were accepting of anything that was new here, and they really like fused into the culture here that it was easy to talk to them about my problems and talk to them and just communicate with them to have a good relationship.
Wonderful. They would be so happy to hear this interview. Are your parents here, by the way?
Yeah, they're actually right over there.
Oh, wonderful. So maybe we can talk to them and find out as well.
Yeah.
So you are living their dreams and your dreams, which happen to be aligned with each other. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah.
Excellent. So do you have a message for kids who may be struggling with this gap, generation gap or culture gap? Do you have a message for the kids?
So I would say that no matter what your parents are, you can make your own identity no matter what happens, because ultimately it's up to you to decide what your interests are and what you want to do with your life, because you're going to be living in the shoes of the person that is going to be doing that job, and your parents really can't make you do something that requires you to do that as well. So I would say do what you want to do, and there's going to be a lot of ups and downs in life with even in high school, but like later down the line it's not really going to matter as much as you think, and right now it matters. So make sure you do work hard, but keep on pushing and fulfill your dreams.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello everyone, we have friends who are here with us who is also headed to college this year. So where are you going?
UMass Amherst.
I can see that. And do you know what you're going to be majoring in?
Biology.
So is that going towards medical by any chance?
Pre-med track, yeah.
So you want to be a doctor?
Yeah.
All Right, you seem so sure of where you want to go. Now, is that how you've been all along, and since when?
Since probably beginning of high school.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And what are your parents' professions?
My mother's a doctor, my dad's an engineer.
Is that where you got your inspiration from?
Not really. I like helping people. I like people and I mean, I was kind of thinking psychologist or psychiatrist, but I guess once I go to med school, I'll figure that out.
Now, is that what your mom and your dad wanted you to be, or is that what you wanted to do?
That's what I wanted, and my parents were happy with that.
Oh, that's good. So no struggle at all?
No.
But do you see that in Indian families or different families of friends around you, that there is a struggle, it's some sort of culture gap or a generation gap that you sense?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of parents push their kids to go in one direction or the other. But actually nowadays, it used to be like lawyer or doctor, but the computer science field, a lot of parents are getting comfortable with and push their kids in that because that's a big field too. That's seeming to make a lot of money.
So that's the key word, the money, right? Where the money is, that's where the parents want you to go.
Yeah.
All the best. And do you have a message you would like to give to the kids who are listening to you?
What you want to do is what you want to do, and if your parents don't like it, then you should just talk to them about it and try and convince them that that's your passion, that's what you want to do with the rest of your life.
I like that. Keep the communication going with your parents.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. So here we have with us Rohan, who is a senior in high school, but he already has his dreams, and let's find out what they are. So welcome to Foundations TV, Rohan, and where are you headed? Tell our viewers.
I want to do music the rest of my life.
Wow. Now that is something that we see very recently. It's not a traditional path, right? So how has that nurturing of your dream been so far?
Well, it's kind of an on and off thing, especially with my parents. I mean, on one hand, you have to do something that fulfills you personally. On the other hand, you got to do something that makes you money. So while I still want to do music and hopefully pursue that for the rest of my life, on one hand, you also have to do something that's going to sustain you. So I'm thinking of doing maybe economics or something else as well to keep me going financially. Pay the bills.
Yeah. So is that an advice from parents, or is that something that you are realizing yourself in life?
Both, really. I mean, the world is getting vastly more competitive, and the kinds of jobs that you're going to get, I mean, they're simply the market for them is getting smaller and smaller. So in an age like that where, you're constantly competing, I think the best thing you can do is be prepared for no matter what. Always have a backup plan.
That's very, very mature. Now, let's go back to music a little bit. You did mention that it was a little challenge in the beginning with your parents to convince them. So tell us something about that.
So, I mean, my dad comes from a very academic family, and so does my mom. They're both doctors. My brother's also a doctor, so it's a very quintessential, Indian family. But so when it came to telling them, hey, I want to do music, it was like, wait, are you? They did a double take. But yeah, but I think after a while, if you give anything your all, if you show that you're very passionate about something, no matter what, and you work very hard, at the end of the day, all they want is to see you succeed. So if you show that, work really hard, and try your best to do what you want for the rest of your life, I think that's the secret ingredient.
Yeah. Are you the only child?
No, I have an older brother. He's studying medicine. He's a pre-med, and he's also an economics major. And he also was very interested in music for most of his life, which is partly the reason why I picked it up, actually. But yeah.
So do you think it made it easier for your parents to approve of your direction because one of their sons is already in a well-settled traditional path?
Yeah, well, it did, absolutely. I think what made them very supportive of it is they also saw my brother he also developed that musical interest as well in his life, and but he also did a backup, and they found that that concept to be very, I think, safe and mature. So I think that's why they're very supportive. They feel as though, what, if he wants to do what he wants to do, let him go do it. But if it doesn't work out, at least I know he's going to survive.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing your thoughts today. So here we have a different generation with us in front of the camera, Dr. Rakesh Gupta, and we were just having an off-camera chat, and I want him to talk about how he and his wife worked with his daughter to choose a certain direction. So tell us first of all, Mr. Gupta, Dr. Gupta, I should say, about where your daughter is right now and which field is she in.
She just graduated from Trinity College in Hartford, and she did chemistry major and math minor.
So is that something that she wanted to do, or is that something that you and your wife steered her towards?
Sort of half and half. We guided her to choose science or STEM related area for studies, and then she decided on what major, minor, on her own.
So did you have any struggle in deciding, or did she have any struggle in going with your wish?
We did not have any differences in that regard. She was very understanding of why we recommended that, and she understood the value of that advice. So
Would you like to share with our viewers what is the value of the STEM side, and why did you think that your daughter was suited to that direction?
we first of all, STEM areas are not well covered in the education system here, so there is a fair amount of shortage of those type of students in the workforce. So I think there will be less competition in future, especially for women in the STEM fields, and that was an easy argument. And she was doing well in sciences. She did a science fair project in a biology related subject, and she got a award in the state science fair. So it wasn't difficult.
So she did have a bent of mind towards it, and you did make sense. It made sense for her to go in that direction.
Yes, she liked the sciences anyway, so it was easy decision for her.
So is she going to study further, or is she going out for a job now?
She's looking for a job. At the same time, she's trying to get into medical school.
Okay, now is that something she wants to do, or is that something you want her to do?
That could be still argued. She did want to do something further. Now, I can't say for sure because of our prodding or not. We definitely did not push her to the, like, it was not a mandatory requirement or anything like that. If she wanted to go for a job right after graduation, we wouldn't have stopped her. However, we did advise that, having a higher degree or more specialized qualification would give her a better future. And she has looked at our success as physicians, so I think she again went along, but this was a shared decision.
Wonderful, wonderful to see that this generation, we're actually talking to both generations today. We've spoken to a few kids, and we were obviously speaking to some parents. And it's very nice to see that this is a change that is happening, that families are aligning themselves and there's less of a conflict within the family. It does happen that a lot of times kids are able to convince the parents, but it's great to see a family right here where parents were able to steer in a very advisory manner to their kids, take them in a certain direction, and the kids seem to be happy. So it's wonderful to hear that. So thank you for sharing your thoughts today.
Thank you.
Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here at a private graduation party, but we are getting some wonderful people in front of our camera to find out what is going on inside the Indian families, the kids who are born here and brought up here, and how are the parents dealing with the different generation gap or the cultural gap. And we have with us Mr. Ram Nehra and his wonderful wife Nishi Nehra with us, and we have to hear their thoughts on what they feel about this cultural gap, how parents should I guess how they should deal with this as they move along and they see the kids moving in a certain direction. So what do you have to say, Mr. Nehra?
Thank you, Gauriji, for the lovely introduction. I would just like to say that I was born and raised in East Africa, Nairobi, and I'm one of those second generation in East Africa, and we have been here in USA for the last 45 years. My appeal to parents is that in their children they should instill the Indian values. We are some 13,000 miles away from India, and it may be not possible for us to visit our mother country, but being here, I'm sure we can let our children know the depth of Indian culture, the values, the religion. Our kids are very smart. They have a big vision, and I'm sure if you would put them in the right direction, they will learn a lot about our heritage and the values. And I would request to spend some time on that, and don't be afraid to answer any questions. They may ask you why there is so many different deities in a mandir, and it behoves us with that we should know about it also. I would like to mention that we belong to an organization which is the Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation, and I've been working with this foundation for the last 14 years, and we take the education to the most remote areas of India. I would encourage the parents to ask their college-going students, sons or daughters, to go to India and see what work we are doing. It will be very rewarding, it will be very refreshing, and it will be a challenge for them. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.
बहुत बढ़िया है, and I have another question for you. I think that's a very meaningful message, and we want to elaborate a little bit on it, and we want to hear about your personal journey with your own kids. How did you instill values in your children, and are you satisfied with the way they are leading their lives today?
Gauri, that's a wonderful question. I got 3 children. One was born in Africa, and 2 were born here. Let me say this. You don't have to really tell or teach your children. They will learn themselves from the parents. So you have to set up an example. What you do for the community, what you do for your mother country, and they will pick up from there. I just want to mention a very interesting episode. Just this past January, my granddaughter, whose mother is an American, I sent her to Jharkhand in India for Ekal residency. She was there for 10 days. She doesn't know a word of Hindi, and those children don't know a word of English. She stayed there for 10 days, and in short, she loved the children and what we are doing so much that she wants to go back again. So I would say that you have to set an example for the children, and they will learn. Thank you.
I think that is absolutely reinstated and reinforced by all the other interviews that we have done today. Both generations, and here we have the third generation, the grandparents' generation, talking to us as well. So that all the 3 generations have kind of consistently given the same message, that it is about getting inspired by our own parents and what's going on inside the family. And you have just said the same exact thing. Set the right example for your kids, and they are sure to follow them. It's not about they going in a direction against you in any way. It's about communicating and collaborating and finding a midway that everybody is happy with. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts today.
Thank you, Gauri. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Gauri.
What an honor to have you. Thanks. Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. We are here on location with Rishi Gupta and Rahul Gupta. Rishi Gupta is the one who is graduating this year, and he's heading towards his dream college. And we also have his younger brother Rahul, and let's hear what they think about whether they're living their dreams or their parents' dreams. So congratulations, Rishi.
Thank you very much.
So can you share with our viewers where you're going?
Next year I'll be attending UMass Amherst, and I'll be enrolled as a pre-med student and I'll be studying to become a doctor and apply to medical school.
Okay, so he says he's going to be a doctor. So what is that your dream, or is that something that your mom and your dad wanted you to do?
It has been my dream ever since I was young. I've always had an interest in medicine ever since I was young. I've always shadowed my mother. I used to go with her to her office, and I would always observe her doing her work and watching her interact with patients. I thought that would be a very interesting career field to look at. As of right now, I do want to be a doctor, but I am keeping my options open as well. Such as like when I go to college, I want to look at other things as well instead of having a one-track mind and such.
So, so it was basically seems to me like it was something that you developed, but your parents are happy about this dream as well.
Yes, my parents have been very supportive of my wanting to become a doctor. My mother mostly because she is a doctor and she understands like the expectations, and she's been helping me and guiding me, along with my father as well. They've been helping me and guiding me towards my dream to become a doctor, supposedly.
Wonderful, wonderful. We wish you all the best. And Rahul, how old are you, and which grade are you going into next fall?
I'm 14. I'll be entering 9th grade in the fall.
Okay, and how do you feel about your brother graduating and heading towards medical?
I really feel good that all the work he put in paid off, and that he gets to do what he really wanted to do. Like, it's not our parents' choice, it's what he wanted to do. He's always wanted to be a doctor ever since he was younger. And it's really good to see that all the hard work he put in paid off.
That's good. That's good to hear from a younger brother, I'm sure. And how about you? Do you have your mind made up as to where you're headed?
No, not yet. I don't think I want to be a doctor. Okay. That's but I still haven't decided exactly what I want to do.
Okay. And are your parents or your brother, elder brother, kind of steering you in a certain direction?
No, they let me choose what I want to do. They don't pressure me into doing medicine or anything other than that.
Okay, great. So before we end the interview, Rishi, would you like to say to the aspiring middle schoolers and high schoolers?
I think that it's a very good thing to work hard in school, especially in middle school and high school, because it'll benefit you later on in your lives, and it'll help you like develop a career path for yourself in college. And when you enter college, it's a good thing to keep an open mind, as well as have a lot of options as to what you want to do for a career. That's basically what I have to say.
Wonderful message. Thank you so much, both of you. So here we have the entire family of Raj Gupta, Raju Gupta, Rishi, who is graduating, and their younger son, Rahul. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
So we already spoke to Rishi and Rahul about where they're going. So how do you feel about about Rishi moving on to college? How do you feel, Mr. Raj Gupta?
Oh, feel very good, yeah. At least, yeah, he's doing good progress, and, good luck for him, He's a very sincere kid, so he will do good, Thank you.
Scared because he's leaving home, and excited, and we'll see.
So we are also focusing on this idea whether kids are living their dream or their parents' dream. So what do you think, Raju, about that?
Well, I think he's living his dream. We've always wanted our children to go in something in science, like either engineering or medicine, but he has his own mind, so he has made up his own mind. So I think he's living his dream with our dream.
That's a good way to put it, definitely. And he did say that he was inspired by you as a child, because he would accompany you, and you being a doctor in the family, so he is also wanting to be a doctor like you. So how does that feel?
Feels good that somebody feels that I do a good job. No, actually, it feels good. It feels great. I always wanted as I said, we both always wanted our children to go in some science field. So I think whatever he does, I don't, want him to feel that he has to become a doctor, but I just want him to do whatever he wants to do the best.
And Raj, I have a question for you. Do you have a dream for Rahul?
Yeah, pretty much same, they have their own minds, and of course they both are heading towards pre-med, and they like to be doctor like mom, take some knowledge from me from technology, but mostly the medicine, So I hope they will do good. Thank you.
Rahul, do you want to add anything to that?
I'm okay.
Are you sure? Because he told me that he's not sure of where he's headed. And I did ask him if his parents are steering him towards something, and he said no. Okay.
As I said, whatever he wants to do good in your life. Whatever you want to do good in that field. No, it doesn't have to be medicine. No.
So that's really nice that we see the modern parents these days are not steering or pushing their kids towards a field that they may not want to do it for the rest of their lives. So it's good to see that parents are open-minded and they're broad-minded, and that's a great example. I think that's a wonderful family as a great example where the kids know what they want to do, the parents are happy and they're very supportive, and they're not trying to steer them away from that. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.